She was compulsory viewing on Monday nights for 3 long years as audiences sat glued to their seats watching the story of her serial unfold. We got to know and love her characters, but we found out very little about her. She remained a mystery, perhaps even an enigma. Well, let's see if that changes as I introduce you today to Neena Gupta. Welcome to the program, Neena.
Hi.
You know, let's start at the very beginning. I gather you are quite a rebellious child.
Yeah, I think so. You should ask my parents, I don't know.
Well, they say that you had a terrible phobia about oil in your hair.
Yeah, because at that time there's a new fashion that one didn't want to put oil in your hair. And all the parents wanted to put oil in the hair because it's supposed to be good for the hair. And I remember I was beaten up for this because I wanted to go for a function and I didn't want to put oil in my hair.
They say that behind the rebelliousness from the very beginning was a very strong, determined little girl. I gather at the age of 2, you insisted upon pranks in the Mall and Simla in the rain with everyone watching.
It's a news to me, I don't remember anything.
Apparently it rained and you insisted upon dancing in the road and you wouldn't come back in and you had 300 to 400 watching you.
And who told you that?
Your father.
My father must be lying. I don't remember.
You were also determined to attend all the birthday parties. You often gate crashed.
Yeah, all the kids want to do that. I also did. I remember there was a little wedding, I think, near my house, and there was a very nice smell of the food coming, and all of us just went in.
And yet, despite being rebellious and strong-willed, in school you were very different. I'm told you were quite shy and timid.
Yeah, I was very shy. Like, for example, I wanted to act in the school plays and all, but I could never tell the person in charge that take me because I can act well. And then I used to watch other people acting, and then I used to go back home and act in front of the mirror and realize that I can do better than them. But I had no courage, even till college, no courage to go up to somebody and say that I'm good, take me, you know.
Was it shyness or was it self-consciousness?
I don't know. I just couldn't go up to somebody and say, I'm good, take me.
And yet you took part in a lot of elocution contests and you did a lot of public speeches in school and won lots of prizes.
Yeah, because there you could enter, like, there was no problem as such.
Your father says he wrote the speeches that won. Is that true?
Yeah.
Huh?
I write for my daughter, so it's okay. Every parent does it.
Were you daddy's favorite little child?
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah.
So you were in fact the one that he was most proud of in school?
That time, was he proud of me or not, I don't know. Now he is.
Now, the amazing thing is that although you never acted in school, you spent a lot of time involving yourself in activities. Were you conscious of the fact that you wanted to achieve on a lot of fronts?
Yeah, I always wanted to do so many things. Like, I wanted to sing, I wanted to dance, I used to read books. Like, I remember there's this thing called VPP library, Ghareru Library Yojana. And we used to get 7 books in a month, and I used to read, in 1 week I used to finish all the 7 books of Colonel Ranjit to Gulshan Nanda to Prem Chand, to everything. So I wanted to do so many things. I was playing hockey in college also.
Became captain of the team, didn't you?
No, I didn't. I was playing centre forward and right out in hockey. I wanted to do so many things.
You had an intellectual streak because you went on to do a master's degree in Sanskrit. Most of us think of that as a frightening subject. What attracted you to it?
See, I had, in my past course, in my BA, I had 4 subjects, and one of them was Sanskrit. And I used to love the literature. I used to love Kalidas. And then I decided I want to do my MA. Then I also did my MPhil in Sanskrit.
So was that a sort of challenge you set yourself?
No, I just used to love the literature. I used to love Meghdut. There was this teacher in MA, in arts faculty, a teacher with big, big eyes. And then he used to look out of the window and he used to recite Meghdut for us. You know, I had never felt that beauty in literature which I felt at that time. And then later I wanted to combine my theatre with my Sanskrit because my subject was stage techniques in Sanskrit drama. This was my subject for my PhD and MPhil dissertation, but I couldn't do my PhD.
In fact, it was while you were at college that you were introduced to the National School of Drama. There was a friend who took you across. Who was he and how did it happen?
There's a friend called Satish Kaushik, who's a very big director now. And I saw him being directed by Mr. Alkazi, who was the director of School of Drama.
The great Ibrahim Al-Qazi.
The great, whom I've never met ever till now. And because of him, I went into acting.
So you joined the NSD because you wanted to be directed by Al-Qazi.
But I saw Mr. Alkazi teaching Kaushik one day in the rehearsals, and I said, he can teach me. And I wanted to join. When I joined, he left.
Oh, you joined at the wrong time.
I joined at the wrong time.
But in fact, a lot of your training comes from NSD, and when you left, one of the roles you played was in Gandhi. I'm told you were his walking stick.
Yeah.
Was it fun? What was Richard Attenborough like?
Oh, he was very good. But the best part was Ben. Ben was fantastic. Ben was very good. In fact, although I had a small role, but I spent a lot of days shooting.
Another of your memorable roles was the Choli Ke Piche girl in Khalnaik. You really caught the fancy of the country, but was that a fun role?
While doing it, it wasn't fun because Subhashji used to tell me at certain times that he's not getting what he wanted from me. And for me, it was very frustrating. And but I learned a lot because he said that don't sing a song, act a song, mean what you are saying. And this is what I started doing later on, and that's why the expressions came. But after the movie was released, I did a lot of shows and earned a lot of money through that song.
So it was financially rewarding in a big way.
Later on, not initially.
Now, of course, TV was really the creation of you. It all began when you played the role of Ketaki in Khandan. Did it upset you that the press insisted to use their colourful phrase that you were the perfect rich bitch?
Yeah, because I used to get very bugged because it was a very nicely defined role. It had all the shades in it. But just because she was a strong woman, she was a bitch. Strong women are always bitches.
You became, in fact, a real household name when you started directing your own serials. I'm told that the first one that happened with money you'd saved for a holiday.
Yeah, I wanted to go to a world tour and I'd saved some money. Then I thought I wanted to do this serial and I thought I'll make this serial. Even if it is not sold, I'll just have the satisfaction.
So it was a burning desire inside you?
Yeah, at that time, yeah.
Were you nervous when you were doing it?
Very nervous.
Everything that you possessed was being put into it?
Yeah, I had nothing else in my bank account at that time.
So it was make or break?
Yeah.
It succeeded. It succeeded probably beyond your imagination.
Yeah, it was it was a big hit on Doordarshan.
Nothing, of course, could have been as big a hit as Saas. I mean, that was an incalculable thing. Looking back, you had the country sitting, as I said, on Monday nights, watching the screen, tearing themselves apart as the story went on. Why was it such a hit?
I don't know.
You have no idea?
I have no idea. I don't know why it was such a big hit, but only thing I know, people thought it was so real and people identified with it, and they always said that all the characters look so real and they felt that it was their story. I did not know it would be so many people's story. I couldn't imagine.
But were you in fact consciously writing it so that people could identify?
No, never. Never.
So it was a lucky accident in a sense?
Not lucky accident, but I think with the help of my writers, we could, we knew what we were doing and we knew where we shouldn't go and what we should do. And we were very honest. It was an honest serial. And whenever you make anything honest or you do anything honest, it affects people.
The other great thing about this serial was that practically at the end of every episode, the audience sympathized with a different character. There wasn't one central person that attracted the audience.
I did it deliberately. I didn't want to portray the other woman as negative. I have never written a scene where she's negative. I never asked her to smoke or drink or anything else. I always said it's because of circumstances that these things happen.
You played several roles in the making of Saas. You were the director, the actress, you were involved in the writing, in the scripting, in the designing and the set. I'm told you even chose the bed sheets they slept on.
Yeah, I'm very particular about color scheme, about my lamp. I used to buy everything myself.
You must have driven yourself crazy with all that work.
Yeah, but I enjoyed.
Were you in a sense driven? Was it a mission?
No, no, no. It wasn't a mission. It was something very beautiful which I wanted to create. I enjoyed doing it. I enjoyed sitting with my writers. I enjoyed talking to my actors. My whole unit was so close to me. It was a beautiful experience for me.
So while it lasted, it became, in a sense, your life. It took over
Yeah.
your existence.
Yeah.
It won lots of awards. There was a particular screen award ceremony when it walked off with two of the biggest ones, Best
Yeah.
Actress and Best Serial.
Yeah.
Was that a surprise, or were you secretly hoping it was going to happen?
No, I was not hoping, but I thought I could get one at least.
And two?
Two was a surprise.
Now, the other thing you did along with SARS was a very novel talk show, Manthan, where you played a sort of agony aunt. You had to advise people about their personal problems. Was that difficult?
Yeah, very difficult. Very, very difficult, because people have different circumstances. You cannot advise anybody about anything. It was very difficult. I had to be very careful not to give a solution which they go and do, and then later on it's not the right solution. So I had to be very, very careful.
There was one tricky situation, wasn't there, when a lady came to you complaining about her estranged husband who was about to lure away her daughter.
Yeah.
I mean, how did you handle a complication like that?
Yeah, sometimes you couldn't handle. Sometimes I had no answers. There were situations I had no answers.
So what does an agony aunt who hasn't got the answers do?
She or he just makes the other person feel that I understand your problem, and this could happen, this could not happen. So you decide.
So it was a sort of shoulder to cry upon, a person they could trust and confide
I
in.
always feel for all these kind of talk shows, the main thing is that a person can talk to you. It's like today's time, nobody is there to listen to you, and nobody has time to listen to you. So the fact that somebody is listening to you and not passing a judgment about you, not thinking you are a bad person, is a big thing. And I think that is why they are successful. Solutions are never there generally.
Neena, let's take a break. I want to come back and talk about you, about the Neena Gupta that we very often don't actually get to see. We'll be back in just a couple of moments. Stick with us. Welcome back. My guest is Neena Gupta. Neena, let's talk about your real life as opposed to what they call your real life.
That's very tough.
You've been engaged twice, but never married. As you look back on it, would you consider that a great escape, or is there a little regret about it as well?
Escape is not a nice word. No, I don't know what it is. I feel that everything is written by some power, and it was written for me that that will not happen.
Do you believe in fate?
Yeah.
Do you believe that your whole life is sketched out by someone? for
Yeah,
you?
it is. But that doesn't mean that I won't work hard. I'll still work hard.
But then if it's all sketched out, how does working hard make a difference?
It makes you feel good about it. It has some hope. But I believe absolutely it's written.
You know, there was someone that you met and loved but never married, Viv Richards. Was that a conscious decision not to marry you, or was that just the way things worked out?
No, he was already married, so I couldn't marry him.
Would you have liked to?
Yeah.
You became very close to him.
Yeah, I was very close to him.
Would you say he was perhaps the only man in your life that really mattered?
Yeah, because for 13, 14 years I was with him, and actually I think I really loved him very much.
What attracted you to him? Because he's someone that the world in a sense knows as a cricket player, not as a human being.
No, I knew him more as a human being, and I think he's a very, very good human being, very difficult to explain actually. I liked him.
How did you meet? It was in Jaipur, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was in Jaipur, and we had gone for a dinner, and he was there, and we met for the first time.
You make it sound as if it was almost accidental, a sort of fated meeting.
Fated again. Fated, and then we didn't meet, and again we met at the airport after 2 months, and again we didn't meet, and again we met after 1 month, and then it started. Then again I didn't meet him for 5 years after Masaba was born. For 5 years I didn't meet him.
That's a long, long gap.
Yeah.
You know, you mentioned Masaba, your daughter. It's a courageous decision in India to be a single mother and to have a child out of wedlock. But how difficult was it for you?
See, one thing I want to say, Karan, that it is not a very courageous thing. Hundreds of thousands of women must have done that in our country especially. My problem was because I was a known face that the press was after me. Otherwise, I was better off. I had more money than so many other women who have a child without a man. I mean, of course, you can't have a child without a man. I mean to say that you can't look after. Um, but at that time, I was blind, you know. I was like this. I didn't look here and there.
You said that for the first 5 years after she was born, you never met Viv Richards again.
After her first birthday, till her 6 years, I never met him.
Was that your decision or his?
No, there was some misunderstanding between us. Then we came back.
Was that very painful for you?
Yeah.
So for 5 years, Masaba never really knew her father at all?
No.
When they met again, or rather when they met for the first time for her, was it difficult to pick up the threads?
Very difficult because I had two babies.
Viv being the other one.
Viv and Masaba trying to know each other and getting angry about each other and things, and it was very difficult.
Today, of course, you keep in touch with him. And is he a good father to her?
Yeah, he is, but then he's not there all the time. That's the problem.
And how do you make up for his absence?
I have work. Work is fantastic. Work is done whatever for me in these times of emotional and other problems.
Have you known a lot of loneliness in these last 10, 12 years?
Yeah, in fact, I have, since I have known Vivian, I have been almost like a one-man woman, and I have been very lonely. But there was so much for him that I could live like that. And also Masaba helped it a lot.
She's a sort of presence of his by your side.
No, I never think like that. She's my child, she's my daughter, and there's so much love from her. The love I don't get otherwise, I get from her.
You went through a very difficult period with the press because they were far from understanding and kind. How much did that hurt?
It didn't hurt much because my friends were very nice with me. They were wonderful. My friends stood by me and my father stood by me.
Yet every time you picked up the papers, all they did was talk about you and Viv, and they went on and on and on about having a child out of wedlock.
Yeah. But then my father was there with me, my friends were there with me. It was
The Illustrated
fine.
Weekly even went to the extent at one point in time of printing Masaba's birth certificate.
Yeah, they stole it. Pritish Nandi got it stolen from the office, municipal corporation office.
Did you ever ask him for an apology or at least an explanation?
No, I don't feel like talking to such a man also.
You mentioned your father. He stood by you. And today, in fact, your family, in a sense, comprises your daughter and your father.
Yeah.
That's a very unusual threesome, isn't it? 3
Yeah,
generations.
but you can't imagine how wonderful it is. I mean, he does everything for me. In fact, sometimes I tell people when they ask me in interviews that why I could survive in Bombay when I had less work, etc., is because I had a very strong family behind me. They were in Delhi, but I knew whatever may happen, I can go back to them. And I feel that's very important for anyone. And that's why I could stick. I didn't have to compromise much because I knew they are there.
And are the three of you very close?
Who?
Your daughter, your father and you?
Very close.
So do you still miss...
My daughter is very jealous of me and my father because she says to him that you should not, she's not your daughter, she's only my mother.
So with this close-knit family spanning 3 generations, do you still miss not having a husband?
I do. But also I tell myself that you don't get everything in life. I feel whatever I have got is a lot and I shouldn't crib for whatever I don't have. You don't get everything.
You know, the amazing thing about your life is you clearly lived it on your terms.
No.
No?
No. This is a total lie because I haven't lived it on my own terms. Maybe I wanted something else. But the only thing is whatever I got, I lived with it. I made the most of it because there's no other way to go about it. But I don't think anybody can do what they want to do.
So do you have regrets? Strong regrets?
Not many regrets.
But there are a few.
Yeah. Lots.
Viv being one of them.
He's not a regret.
No, not a regret in the sense that the relationship happened, but a regret in the sense that he couldn't have been with you more often.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I would have loved to live with him.
You are a very strong, determined woman. Are you very disciplined with yourself?
I'm disciplined, but I'm not strong. Sometimes I feel I'm very weak.
Can you be disciplined without being strong?
Yeah, you can be. I'm very weak sometimes. At certain moments, I'm so weak, I can't believe myself. But when there are situations where there's no other alternative, then I'm very strong.
So circumstances make you strong.
Yeah, I think it's with everybody, no?
And at other times do you cry?
Yeah, lots of times.
How do you prevent your daughter seeing you cry? Because that would be something that would shatter her.
I've cried in front of her sometimes, but it's okay.
She understands.
Yeah,
She knows that it's daddy's absence that's part of the pain.
No, I've not cried just because of daddy's absence. I cried for so many other things also.
Now there is of course one other driving ambition in your life. One was making television a success, and you have, and now I gather you want to go back to films and direct your own film.
Yeah, I have signed up with the producer. I'm going to be directing a film. I'm still casting for it, so.
Is it true that you want Madhuri for the lead role?
Yeah, I wanted her, but I don't know about her time and things. We're still working on it.
Is she playing hard to get?
No. She's amazing. She's a very sweet person, but she has her family life now, so her time is divided now.
What can you tell me about the film? Don't reveal any secrets of the story, but what sort of plot
Love
is it?
story.
Oh.
And it was so surprising that people are saying, you are making a love story, you should make something bold, something extraordinary, something which, will create a stir. But no, I'm making a very plain, simple love story.
You know, it's an interesting point that people make to you, because one associates suffering and pain and angst with you.
And something different and all. But I'm a very normal person. I have everything what a normal woman.
You know, one of the things that appealed in Sans was the pain that the people felt, the pain of relationships, the pain of love. That's almost autobiographical, because you felt that pain of separation and of love in your life.
Not just that. I also realize that when I'm very observant, like when I see people, my neighbors, my relatives, people on the road, I think of so many things they must be suffering. I'm always thinking of their sufferings. I'm always thinking, people on the streets, what will happen, what would they wear, what would they do in these circumstances. I like people.
And yet
love people.
suffering attracts you in a strange way.
It doesn't attract me. I feel for them. I feel for people. I'm hurt by people, but still I feel for people. And that's why whatever work I do, I feel for people. I feel for my spot boy who's working for me, So I think that all reflects in my work.
I think that's probably the empathy that drew people in a big way to Sans. Neena Gupta, for talking to us so openly about subjects that must be so deeply private. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, cousin. Thanks. Yeah.